Your dog might be Red Ruby.
Don't forget Ermi.
Right. What's Ermi doing?
I don't know. I think Ermi and Red Ruby are probably the same dog.
Yeah, they work together.
You know, they show stuff from other networks too, as well as their own.
Do?
They have their
own.
Like
Hulu and stuff.
Yeah, I don't want to quote exactly where this stuff is coming from, but I've noticed different TV series and stuff.
Oh, okay.
I think they you know, and
so they purchase them or something.
And Netflix has a young following. You know, it's a young group. It's very popular with the younger crowds.
Oh, really?
But well, I think it's popular with everyone. But like you were talking about, how the younger audiences seem to be more active in a lot of entertainment-based type things. Well, I think Netflix is a good example.
Yeah, because I noticed, like, when people get older, they sort of start marketing and, associating with, like, people their age, right?
Older people?
Yeah. I mean, because that's where you lose connection with actual marketing, is when you reach a certain age, you start marketing to people like 30 years old. And then when you turn 40, maybe you're marketing to... Your mindset is like 40 when you're 40. So you're not thinking like a 16-year-old, right?
Yeah, no, are you talking about...
I'm talking about making movies, making music, making any entertainment.
You're talking about matching the age groups up with the age groups? Well, they do that because if you notice, like, all the popular artists with the kids that are signed to the major labels are of the same age group.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Which I don't think
but
it has to be that way.
Case.
No, it's not always the case, but I think that music industry is definitely identified with trying to keep the artists the same age as the people they're marketing it towards.
Yeah.
And
there's a YouTuber named Steven Ximre.
Carter! Hey, what's up, Steve? Oh, what is going on, sharers? Today we're going to make a one-of-a-kind, never-before-seen box fort. No, we're not going to make a box fort out of cardboard. Woo! We're not going to make it out of giant Legos like this one. Oh, definitely not throwing this one. This one is precious. It took a long time to build. We also made a box fort out of candy. Yes, sharers, it's so cool. You'll never get hungry when you build this because you have so many Starbursts that you can eat.
He's like 19, 20, and he markets to like 5-year-olds. Which is kind of creepy, but...
Well, that's a little different. I mean...
Yeah, he was marketing to people his age, and then he realized that some of his videos were actually attracting younger audiences.
So he went for it.
Exactly, and now he's driving a Lamborghini.
So if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button and join the best family on YouTube, the Share Fam. And let's jump into this. Let's get this Lamborghini started. Here we go!
Well, 5-year-old is, you can only have so many shows. The 5-year-olders might want to watch the teenagers and stuff too. I mean, because they're real young. I mean, you can, and I mean, what about, like, say, children's books? Right. Who's writing them? The adults.
Right.
But that's a little different from the. And I'd like to also point out that I think art form can break the barriers of age groups, because if something is good enough, all ages are gonna like it.
Oh, so regardless.
Yeah, even though the music industry has made a definite conscious decision to match up age groups, I wouldn't say that should be a strict rule. I think there can be exceptions.
Right.
Music has broken down barriers time and time again. It broke down racial barriers years ago. Continues to do so. So why can't it break down age barriers? And these days there's so much access to music because of the internet. I think the younger generations are more open to a larger range of styles. I think, I see younger people listening to jazz and you name it, because it's all accessible now. You know.
Right. Years ago, you'd have to buy an album to, right?
And you know,
to listen to classical.
Yeah, I know some people, they get very narrow-minded in what they'll accept listening to, but I think people, the younger generations, are also expanding away from that because they do have access to so much stuff. So they do, you know, a lot of them do seem to give a broader scope of styles a chance.
Why is it that, in most cases, that say you grew up in the 90s and you listen to what's popular back then, you know, I mean, people have their generational music catalog, right?
Yeah.
You know, like, you don't really have too many, you know, teenagers, you know, running around with their Frank Sinatra albums.
You're right.
It's more likely going to be like Jay-Z or something like that, right?
Yeah, I think generations do tend to stick to, you know, the music of their generation, and that's what, you know.
And why is that?
Because it's what they can relate to, and then, you know.
Because that's what's pushed upon them.
Well, you know, in their minds, it's what they like.
What's acceptable?
Well, I think it's turning more and more. You know, the industry is trying to push the same stuff.
Yeah.
They see it as a non-risk. They know what we've identified that this crowd likes this kind of music. We want to give them more of that kind of music, and a lot of people are happy to receive that. But what I was saying a minute ago is, I think younger people are, you know, starting to expand out of that. Yeah, you got the typical. They're focused only on that narrow parameter that's being provided, and because that's just what they relate with. You know, every generation relates with their music of the time, and it seems like the older generation's like, oh, that's not really good music, and they kind of get stuck on their old music. You know, back when they were younger, they did the same thing. You know, they latched on to their music of the time, and the adults were saying that's not good stuff. So it happens over and over again, you know, and it's going on now. But like I also want to point out, I think that more and more the younger generations are open-minded to listening to all styles.
Right. But you also got to remember that in the 60s, you know, the lyrics weren't as offensive as they are these days. I mean, I can't even listen to, too many rap songs that are talking about bitch and suck my pussy and fuck you and the fuck in the ass. I mean, really?
You know,
that's where we've come to.
But it did kind of start in the 60s, though, with the counterculture in rock music.